Alright, so we're back with the bike because there's a few things I want to test out before we get to the track. Just interestingly, whilst I'm looking straight at this thing, you'll notice that I've removed the front cover for the sprocket. No major reasons why I've done that. The main one being that if you look inside the cover for this sprocket, you'll see a plastic piece, and I could hear a bit of a noise when I was on the bike without any earplugs in, and it was a very specific noise. I don't know if you've experienced this, and it was only off throttle. No, which way around was it? It was either on throttle or off throttle, and it was a bit like a squeaking noise. And when you look at the plastic inside the sprocket cover that kind of rests right against the chain, I could see wear marks on it. And I can kind of understand that that's kind of okay and probably designed by Yamaha, but I just didn't like it. So all of my track bikes run without the sprocket covers anyway, and eventually when it comes to the time where you're changing sprockets for gear ratio benefits at the track, it's just easier to not have that there. So I repiped. There was two drain pipes coming from the tank, which I've reworked to the other side of the bike. So now that the only cable around here, I think that's the side stand switch. So anyway, what we're really looking at today is we got some tyre warmers from SVRacing parts, and these are specific for the size tyres we've got on the R7. And you get a few, instructions that come with it. I obviously used to use tyre warmers, so I'm okay with it. So these are the 190 size. So the tyre size on your R7 is a 180. But the range of tyre warmers do cover different sizes, and the 190 covers 180 tyres. So I'm going to get these out and show you how to get your tyre warmers mounted up. So these are the tyre warmers. They come with a nice carry bag. It's very important to look after your tyre warmers and just make sure they're not thrown around the place, no one's stepping on them when they're off the bike. Just look after them because they can get damaged and stop working. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on these things, especially when you're in a rush to get to onto the track. Just make sure they're out of the way and secure and not plugged in. Leave them unplugged or switched off when they're not actually on a tyre. So they're labelled front and rear for obvious reason. These have got the US plugs on. Right, so I'm going to get the rear warning on. The best thing you can do is give the tyre surface a wipe with the glove. Just get rid of any fine debris and stuff on that. And then I'll show you how I like to mount mine. I like to find the tyre valve and hook up the warmer around the first spoke, and then spin the wheel that way to get the warmer all the way around. So that's step one. Try and get this wrapped as nice and tightly around the tyre surface as you can. Obviously that's the important part, to make the warmer fit nice and snug against the rubber. And you'll see that the spoke there is going to help us as I push the tyre around. It's going to pull the warmer around for me, and I will keep some tension on the warmer as I'm doing that until it's all the way around and the Velcro matches up again and it's fully wrapped. So there's a warmer installed. Just a quick go really. One thing I will do when I get to the track, or before I get to the track, is remove this piece. So it's just rubbing on the side of this. It's not very nice. It doesn't need to be there on the track. It's nice to cover the shock and everything when we're on the road, but for track use, I'm going to take that off. But yeah, it fits nice and snug. Just even it out as you go around and feel around and even around the warmer for both sides of the tyre. But that's in place and ready to try out. There's a little hook up here so you can put your cables up and out of the way when you're maybe not using them but they're still on the bike. And then there's a high, low, sorry, medium, low and a high settings for these tyre warmers. And there you have it, the front one is in place. It fits underneath the front fender mudguard, nice and easy. I hooked up against the spoke just after the tyre valve because that space there is a little bit restrictive. So I just used the next available spoke. Yeah, shout out to SVRacing Parts. They obviously do a lot for the SV650 community. The guy who runs that seems a really nice guy. I only conversed via email, but was very informative on my order and seems really good. So big shout out to those. I'm not I paid everything for this, so no benefit for me to shout them out, but yeah, good guys by the sound of it. So yeah, these are in place. I'm actually going to run these up. I'm going to try them out before I get to the track. You might shout at me and say, well, what about the heat cycle on the tyres? Well, to be honest, these tyres have done 2,000 miles. They've got plenty of heat cycles on them. They're not going to be affected by me trying out a set of tyre warmers on them at home. So yeah, I'm going to run them up, make sure that they get the tyres up to temperature, and make sure they work. Okay, so I've just run a cable from the garage. We're going to try these out on the house supply first and make sure that there's no issues before we try a generator. So I'm going to go and flick these on. And okay, so we've got lights on here. Usually these lights will be orange when heating up, and then there might be a green light that says we're up to temperature, or this might change itself. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it looks like there's a separate LED that'll go green when we're up to temperature. And again, so we're right now on the middle setting, which is the low. There you go. And if we read the instructions, let's see what it says. Zero is not O for off, it is 0 for rain or standby. I is mid position for super hot and still days. Alright, so we've got LM and H, not 0, 1 and 2. Yada yada, okay. Alright, so this is for like a standby mode that we're in right now, so it just keeps a bit of warmth in there. Medium if the temperature outside is really hot. And H for when we really need to get some heat into those tyres. So we're going to try it out on the low standby setting and see how long it takes to get to the green light. Okay, so we've had a couple of times where the green lights come on and gone back off again. So we're up to the low temperature now in about 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, 12, 13 minutes. Not that really matters, I'm just giving you some information. And there we go, see, the green lights come on again. So we're going to go for the high setting now, just to test that out. Flick them both into the high setting. So today it's a fairly moderate day. It's in the 60s, whatever that is in English. Probably like, what's that? 20 degrees C, 18, something like that. Right, so this is the generator that we got to run the tyre warmers. It wouldn't necessarily have been my first choice. It's obviously a Chinese one, but it was a bit of a bargain in our garage sales around the house people were having. So it's literally brand new, fresh out of the box, had to oil it up, fuel it up, and it cost $150. So I'm not going to complain at that. It is what it is. It'll last, you know, as long as it lasts, and then we can get another one. But so to run tyre warmers, you probably need somewhere in the region of 1,000 watts, maybe 1,500 watts. So this is going to be plenty for that. So yeah, at some point I'm going to fire this up and hook up the tyre warmers to this and just make sure everything is okay. So there you go. Good news is that the generator handles the tyre warmers just fine. I knew they would, but it's always nice to confirm. Forgive my sore throat. This is the day after it's the afternoon after the England versus Slovakia football match. Soccer, for those in America. Hence my quite broken voice. But bike is ready. Trackday preparations are ongoing and all good so far. I will keep you up to date with any further observations. I might do, like I said, I might do an oil change on this just before we get there, just to be absolutely golden with regard to the engine and running smoothly. But yeah, everything else is ready. Brakes, suspension, gearing is stock, but we're just going to see how that goes. Ergonomics are all pretty good. One of the jobs I might have had in the pipeline was to run some aftermarket clip-ons just to get a little bit of extra width on the bike. But yeah, otherwise, I think we're pretty much ready to go. So yeah, thanks for coming with me for another little preparation video. But all should be good, and I will be back in touch with you with any more news and any more activity regards the bike and track days, etc, etc. When you are running the tyre warmers, just to touch back on installing them, the main thing is just to make sure that they are smoothly wrapped around the tyre. You don't want any overlaps or anything like that, so just take your time, take that extra 30 seconds to just ensure they're smoothly wrapped around the tyre, and you should be good. And tidy them away at the end of the day, keep them healthy, and they will look after you. So the main reason I'm running tyre warmers really is to help me run good tyre pressures. I don't want to be guessing about hot pressures versus cold pressures, so tyre warmers give me the ability to run the hot temperatures that I want to run, and obviously they give you that extra confidence on those early laps out on track that you've got the grip there with you. Again, these tyres are 2,000 miles old. These are the stock tyres. I'm sure they'll be fine for me on track in this first time back after numerous years, but just giving those that information. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it and very excited to get on track and have some fun. So thanks for watching again, and stick around. There'll be more videos coming up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.